Hey everybody, Jordan with the Young Turks and TYT Politics. To my left, Emma Viglin, your trusted cameraman, editor, and reporter. We are just leaving Bernie Sanders' rally in Detroit, Michigan. It was technically for Hillary Clinton, but didn't really sound like it. And now we're headed to do a bunch of interviews in Detroit. But yeah, we went to Bernie's rally. And to tell you the truth, Emma and I were at a rally for Bernie in New Hampshire with Hillary Clinton there a week ago. And when you look at Bernie Sanders at this rally in New Hampshire with Hillary Clinton nodding her head 7,500 times versus today, it is Jekyll and Hyde. It is night and day. It's like the man had open heart surgery and has been restored. I reported on that rally in New Hampshire last week, and I said this was not your typical Bernie Sanders. There was no hand waving all over the place. His voice was not raised. He just didn't look like he wanted to be there. Today, at this UAW hall, it was vintage Bernie. Honestly, I haven't seen Bernie like this since maybe the middle of the campaign trail. It's like you could tell he doesn't want to be out there stumping for Hillary Clinton. So when he gets a chance where she's not with him, it's almost like he's unshackled and can say whatever he wants, can do whatever he wants, and feeds off the crowd. And he believes what he's saying more because he doesn't have her behind him. And I won't get into it because it was told to me in confidence, but I do have a little intel that Bernie's not exactly on cloud nine on stage across the country supporting Hillary Clinton. So I'll leave it at that. But today, Bernie hit every single chord that is the reason you were attracted to him in the first place. He spoke about the disappearing middle class. He spoke about the top 1% owning almost 90% of the gross income in America. He spoke about, frankly, Donald Trump he doesn't talk the talk. He could talk about NAFTA and all these things, but Donald Trump makes all his products for his companies in Bangladesh and other places, which the crowd was feeding off of. He talked about the struggle for African Americans, the police brutality. He spoke about the bad trade deals. It was almost like Bernie was basically giving his general stump speech and just adding in Hillary Clinton's name at the end. That's kind of what I got. There was not a lot of talk about Hillary Clinton in particular. As Jessica said, huge difference. It was a huge difference. And to tell you the truth, I'm a journalist, but I got to keep it real as a human. It made me depressed because when you look at this man in front of you, and I know a lot of you think he's sold out and whatever, when you look at this man in front of you who really represents the working class and is not bought off, and then you see the two choices that we actually have, it's, well, obviously, technically you have more choices, but the two most likely to win choices, you wonder what country you're living in. Why is this man not the nominee? And I know, and I could do a whole video on the election fraud and all this. I've done plenty of them. But you really look and you're like, why is a man like this? Why weren't more people just awoken to this? And I think the answer is, for a lack of a better word, the majority of our older generation are status quo voters. Bernie had a huge portion of his support base was older people, so it's not to generalize, but if you just look at the raw data, Hillary Clinton's largest support base was African Americans, but also older Americans over 40. So that's just the facts. So watching it, you try to cover it. I was broadcasting it on Facebook Live, but as a person, it's very it's heartbreaking when you see someone like this and you see how far he's willing to go to fight for you. But you just see that he unfortunately didn't make it through a lot of different reasons, a lot of different forces. One thing that I find interesting, and cable news obviously isn't going to cover it because it's nuanced and it doesn't fit into their narrative. But Bernie Sanders, to me, it's very clear that he is telegraphing exactly what he plans on doing the day after the election. Bernie Sanders is not going to go on stage and say, listen, eat your broccoli, she's terrible, but I'm going to fight her to the deaths on day one. He's not going to say that. but he is telegraphing that he's not going quietly into the wind following this election. He's telling people, I think Donald Trump will make our country regress. Hillary Clinton is not my favorite person in the world, but compared to Donald Trump, I don't think it's a contest. That's what he's saying. But he is also saying in events like this, Hillary Clinton's not getting a honeymoon from me or the progressive movement. Hillary Clinton, if she becomes president, will have a fight on her hands if she doesn't follow through on every last letter that was written in that Democratic platform. I know a lot of you are cynical about that, and again are not happy with Bernie. And I don't tell people, how to feel, whether they should support him or not, whether they should be angry with him or not. How you feel is how you feel. But what I do say, what I will say for me, and I think Emma agrees, it's very encouraging to see Bernie talk the way he talked today, because it shows you that Bernie and the progressive movement, if you thought your figurehead was gone because he ended up endorsing the candidate who, frankly, everything he stands for, she stands against, yes, those two don't go together. But I do think Bernie is going to fight. And it's your choice after the election if you want to fight with him against Hillary Clinton if she wins. But I felt that he was basically telegraphing today, and we'll do a video on it. I think he was very, very clearly telegraphing that this election is not the last stop on the train. That's what everyone is focused on right now. But he's going to fight like hell. And if you remember Bernie Sanders in 2010, he did a 13-hour filibuster. Get ready, because he'll be doing a filibuster again if they try to cram the TPP through. As Sarah, the beautiful lady from Hawaii, says, he's sticking to the issues. So I think that it's very easy when emotion is raw. It's very easy when we're angry still about the election fraud, the way that a lot of us have been awoken to how not only corrupt but just evil in many ways our system is and how undemocratic it is. But when I watch Bernie, I'm encouraged that Hillary Clinton is not getting a free pass if she wins the election. Now, moving on to the election, for those of you that don't know, I've been very busy, so I'm not as well read as I usually am. But a local poll today from a local news station here has Hillary Clinton up 11 points in Michigan. So that's probably the biggest I've heard her up in Michigan. A new poll that I saw this morning has her up 2 points in Ohio. Which is the first poll I've seen in a while of her leading in Ohio. Trump was leading in Ohio. A recent poll, I believe, came out yesterday, has him down 10 points in Pennsylvania. And I don't know how much he's down in Florida, but Hillary's lead has expanded in Florida. So I think at the end of the day, it's very clear that Donald Trump's week of, first of all, his first debate performance, where he essentially continued on bragging about birtherism, where Hillary Clinton cornered him on this Miss Universe and Miss Piggy and all these things. The fact that he went on Fox News the next day and doubled down on the fact that he called her these names and didn't apologize for it. The fact that he is tweeting at 3 a.m. about sex tapes she's been engaged in. The next day, he kind of suggested that soldiers with PTSD need to just get stronger. Donald Trump's week is reflected in his polls slipping. So make no mistake about it. I don't really go into the horse race, but Donald Trump needs to win this debate. His chances of winning the election hinge on this debate. He needs to not win by like a little bit, but he needs to essentially have a unanimous decision that he is the comeback kid, that he defeated her in this debate, essentially canceling out her first debate performance. I think the only way he could do that really is to stay on the first 20 minutes of the first debate, where he went into trade. NAFTA was his strongest section. He needs to pretty much triple that to be the whole debate. He needs to stop getting into stuff about immigration and these things that people don't want to hear about from him. Stick on NAFTA, stick on the TPP, hit her on the Clinton Foundation, which he did not do in the first debate. Frankly, Mike Pence in the vice presidential debate did more to hit Hillary Clinton on emails, the Clinton Foundation, on and on, than Donald Trump did in a week. So I think Donald Trump also needs to act a little bit more like a normal person instead of a reality TV cartoon character. He needs to stop smirking while she's talking. He needs to stop cutting her off and just act a little bit more like a politician and a normal person. I think this audience will be on par with the first debate, and I think this is his last chance to make an impression that he's not a megalomaniac lunatic and could be trusted to be president. I also think we need to remind people, because the mainstream media obviously isn't mentioning it, there is still the cloud of any new revelations from WikiLeaks. Julian Assange, frankly, spoke on Tuesday via live stream on the 10th anniversary of WikiLeaks and dropped a big bag of nothing. I already did a report on that. So if Julian Assange has something, I think now would be the time to release it, because Hillary Clinton is opening up a lead in the swing states. The only thing I can think of why he is not releasing it is because they are still authenticating certain documents or redacting names and information from the documents, which obviously WikiLeaks does a lot of. So that's the deal. We'll try to edit videos as soon as we can. We're heading off to the hood, frankly, of Detroit. I'm going to interview young African Americans living in pretty much slums, because you're not going to see that anywhere else. We have some people bringing us there, so we'll do our best to be safe. After that, we head to Chicago, where I have some interviews lined up. And then it's off to Wisconsin in Madison, where we'll be interviewing some union workers, some people who were kind of there in ground zero when Scott Walker tried to decimate the unions. And we will be off to the second debate after that. I won't be tweeting as much as I normally do. You won't hear from me as much. I'm a little sick, and we're in the middle of interviews. But all I ask you, if you support us, get on that hashtag, disappearing middle class, on Twitter and Facebook. We want to hear your stories. I've been retweeting people's stories. And please share our videos and watch our videos from this tour. Part of this road trip, as important as it is to spotlight these stories, it's also very important to get them watched, because I want to show the Young Turks, and I also want to show the broader media, that when you do stories that aren't necessarily sexy, when you do stories that have real people as the center, that those stories do very well and people want to watch them. So as much as I love getting 50,000 views for a Bernie rally video or whatever it is, I want to get 50,000 views when I'm interviewing UAW workers at a diner, or I'm interviewing young African Americans in the hood, frankly. I don't say hood to be demeaning, but there's no other way for it. It's the slums. It's as poor as you can get, we're headed to. I want to get these views up so we could show the Young Turks and the broader media this is what we should be focusing on, not the horse race. So I appreciate your support, and we're going to try to bring you as much as we humanly can without Emma or I passing out. So thank you for watching. Share our videos, like our videos, tweet using Disappearing Middle Class hashtag on Facebook, and I will talk to you later.